Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can generate a good quality synthetic data set using generative AI. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can generate a synthetic data for wellbores, but the process of generating the data set remains the same. So following the same process, you can generate the data set for, let's say, completions, for drilling, or cores. Let's get into the details. So the first thing that we are going to do is to give the context to LLM of what we are trying to do. So here I am prompting LLM to behave as an oil and gas data management expert and need LLM's help to generate a synthetic data set for Wellbore to test my workflows. I'm going to give it some inputs and it needs to use that input to generate the data set. Now the context is set. I'm going to provide more information to the LLM, which will help it generate the data set. I'm going to provide three inputs to the LLM one by one. First input is the metadata file. That file basically contains the information about the data set. For example, what are the attributes present in the data set, description of those attributes, relationships with the other lookup values, and where the data has been acquired, etc. etc. Just to give you an example, this is the data set that I am using for generating more synthetic data set, and you can see this file is a metadata file which I'm going to provide as a prompt. Here it gives information about when this data has been acquired, all the attributes, description of those attributes, lookup values, etc. etc. So in this case, I have this information in the file, but in case you don't have a metadata information, it's a good practice to list down all the metadata information in one file and then provide it as a prompt to LLM. Otherwise, you can provide the metadata information directly as a prompt to LLM so that it can help in generating good quality synthetic data set. Another input that I'm going to provide is actual sample data set, which will give more context to LLM and will help in generating more realistic synthetic data set. And lastly, I'm going to provide the business rules. These business rules are the rules which will help LLMs to ensure that the data that we are generating, they are closely matching with the realistic scenario. So I'll be providing this prompt one by one. As I said, it has been asking me to provide the metadata input file as a first prompt. So I have provided the metadata file to it. Now it is asking me to provide some sample of realistic data set. So here you can see, you can also preview this sample data set. And it is giving me some different responses also. You can say I prefer one of this response. And lastly, it is asking me to upload the business rules. So I've defined some business rules like all the latitude and longitude values of the data set that I'm generating must fall within United States. The API well numbers of the data set should be always 14 digit. Completion date must be after the spud date, etc. etc. But you can define more business rules and refine your data set according to those business rules with the help of LLM. Now, once all the three inputs have been provided, The LLM has been processing all these inputs, and you can see that the synthetic data set has been generated by the LLM. As you can see now that the synthetic data set has been generated, but this data set may not be good enough for the use in our workflows. So we need to refine this data set further. For example, the dates that has been generated are not in the format that we are expecting. So in that case, we can give a prompt to further refine the data set and generate the date in a specific format. So here now you can see that all the dates that we have in the data set are following a particular format. And we can further refine this and we can say that we want a well name which is more realistic. And now you can see that these well names have been given the name which is much more realistic. So once we have further refined and tuned the synthetic data set and we are satisfied with the data set, we can also write a Python script which can help us in generating this data set in large volumes. And then we can use that generated data set to test our application workflows, do the load testing, etc. So here you can see that LLM is generating a Python script which can actually help us generate this data set. And once this script is generated, we can run this script, create data set in large volumes. So that's all for this video. I hope you like the content. If you find this useful, please like this video and share it with your peers. And please don't forget to subscribe Miva for more interesting video content. Thank you so much.